like right now it's just Devon and myself that are on here. So sorry about that, guys, on having to, change Friday night to Saturday morning. At least it's not, whoops, hold on. Hold on. We have to mute myself. I don't want to listen to myself twice. Um, so yeah, it again. There's Froggy. Hello, Froggy. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, this definitely is not going to be. This stream is definitely not going to be as long as the last one. It's actually going to be kind of fairly like quick, but not too quick. Because there's going to be some coloring involved. So yeah, Friday again, I got to really work figuring out on the whole work thing and all that because this was a crazy work week. And of course, by the time I got done working, I just don't have it in me to kind of come up with projects and all that. But so I did work on it last night. Went to bed really late. It was like about 3 o'clock. I have my alarm set to go off at like 8:30. I'm gonna get up, take my shower, and oh, okay. No, I'm just hearing things because I'm very leery. I know I'm like going all over the place here. For some reason, somehow, some way, hornets have found a way to get into this apartment. Hey, Terry. And so whenever I hear like any little sounds, it's like I'm thinking, okay, is there one flying around in here? And it's not. I see my little bag here on the side. Things are kind of falling out. So that's what that, because I was moving the fan around. So that's what that was. But anyway, anywho, so went to bed at 3. Well, Yvonne too. I set my alarm at for 8:30 to get up, be able to take a shower, finish the stuff for with the projects. The projects were done. I just needed to take the pictures to create the picture for the thumbnail, and then also do all the description stuff. So you'll see that that's all down there. And actually, there is something I need to add to the description after I'm done here. I just kind of ran out of time. But anyway, so yeah, so it was like about 8 o'clock. I want to say it was before it. Well, no, e- e- maybe just before. I think it was quarter to 8 this morning. I had gotten a text message, and it was one of those like automated generated ones. So I had put in a maintenance request the other day, and it was for my floor. The tile is like it's horrible tile, and it's like peeling, it's chipping, it's cracking, and all that. And I don't know if they'll be able to do anything, while I'm living here. So I may be stuck with this for like another 18 more months, and it's covered with a rug right now, but it just progressively ends up getting worse. But anyway, so I did that, and then it's like I noticed my text message was saying that this person was assigned my work order, and when I see that, I'm thinking, okay, is this person going to show up today? And I'm like, well, this is wonderful. I still need to go take a shower. And then it's like, of course, I got to get dressed. Then I'm going to go live. Now, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. And typically, what they do is they'll call you before they're going to come over. And they do work today. So I'm really hoping I can get through this before, there's a knock on the door. Luckily, Yvonne's here. So if that should happen, she may just come on here and just like, shoot the breeze with you guys for just a little bit, while I deal with the maintenance guy. But there's nothing that he's not going to be doing no repair work or anything. He's just going to look at it and he's going to take pictures because that's what they've done before. And the other part of my work order is basically hedges outside my window need to be seriously trimmed. They're creeping into, the outer grill of my AC unit out there, and they're starting to overtake my window, but I don't think that's something that they're going to do. I think it's actually the landscaping company that comes, like, I think every week. They're not as consistent as they were in the past. So, but anyway, so just kind of giving you a heads up about that. So, yeah, so basically, I had to still take a shower. I had to type all this stuff up and then do this. And it's like, yeah, I ended up waking Yvonne up earlier than she wanted to be woken up. So, but yeah, so our plan for today is kind of like a lay low day. Uh we are going to go out later to eat. Mind you, I am still drinking coffee because, or as it's called, a caffeinate piping hot caffeinated beverage. So that's what I got here. So of course I'm going to be drinking this because I'm going on less than 5 hours of sleep, and the night before that I only had 3 hours of sleep. So yeah, yay. And then of course it's sunny out there and it's supposed to be in the 90s and hot and disgusting. And so yeah. And after I do this, we're gonna kind of like chill. There's some crafty things that I'm going to do. I bought some chalk paint and these inexpensive, like, little wooden things, you can get like from Dollar Tree. And so I want to like paint these and make them really nice. So chalk paint and like the gel stain and some satin varnish for them. I think they're going to come out really cute. Now, what am I going to put in them? Yvonne has said that she's gotten all of her acrylic blocks to fit in that. So, I mean, that's a possibility, but we're going to see. And I also said I was going to show my stitching projects, but I didn't pull them out. So, this is what's going to happen. My plan, again, it's my plan, and I want to kind of stick with it. Next week, work wise, it's not going to be as hectic and crazy and time crunched as it was this week. So every other week, it's going to be like that. So next, my plan is for next Friday. Okay, and I'm going to say it's all going to depend on one thing. So there's something that I order from Stampin' Up, something additional that I would really, really like to use in the projects for next week. And it all depends on when I get it. Now, it's already been shipped, so it's a matter of when I actually get it. So the plan is that next, whether it's Friday night, it could be maybe Saturday morning again. Or maybe Saturday night. We'll kind of see how it goes, okay? And you'll know because I already have like the video thing kind of like scheduled, and it'll say the date and the time. So that's how you'll know when it is that I will go live. Because I did get that Stampin' foil system. I got that. There's a couple of the plates that I did get. I got the one with the butterflies. I got the botanical one that's called. And what else? There's like one more, but I have a couple of other ones that are coming in. So I would like to just use it all together. So we are going to be used. So the next live is going to be the hot foil system. And so I need to also learn how to use it. I don't think it's going to be difficult. Hello, Sharon. I don't think it's going to be difficult. I mean, I've seen enough videos. I can follow instructions. So, yeah, so we're going to play with that. And of course, I think I need to clear out most of the stuff on this table so I have plenty of room to work. Uh, One of the things that I did mention the last time was that for the most part, things that I use are going to be current items, things that you can still get. but I was also going to throw in some items that have retired or things that you just can't get anymore or products that are not Stampin' Up. Now, for this particular live, I know this my phone. I think I may need a new phone holder because it looks like this thing is just slowly wanting to droop. Um, what was I just gonna say? See, squirrel. Um, so the projects that I'm doing today, a wonderful match suite. So this is the whole suite that is revolved around soccer. And so it was a suggestion um, from Froggy, about doing this suite because of the World Cup that's happening. As a matter of fact, I think, if I don't quote me, but I think the last day for World Cup, I guess that championship match is supposed to be tomorrow. So let's get this in. And then this morning, when I went to go and, kind of typing everything up and my description and everything. So it turns out that the designer series paper is still available. The embellishments, which are these foam star stickers, what's the exact name? Wonderful Stars puffy stickers. Those are still available, and so are the match day dies. Turns out that the English version of the stamp set is now gone. Because when I went to do because what was it? Was it last night? I think it was. I went onto the website. I went to bring up the name of the suite because I wanted to see what sample cards they had out there because this suite was part of an online exclusive. It wasn't in a catalog. And so when I typed it in and brought it up, it was showing the French version of the stamp set, or it was showing the French version of the whole suite. And so when I went digging and put in just the item number for the stamp set, yeah, sorry, it didn't even come up. So that it wasn't like it's currently unavailable. It's just gone. Um, and speaking, so the thing is, I already had two cards already done when I realized this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have the time or the energy to kind of find something else to do. So we're still going to do this one. But I just wanted to put that out there. Um, the other thing too, there was a message that I mean, literally, I was on the Stampin' Up website yesterday, and I was looking at like the updates and the messages and stuff, and literally there was one that came in about some products that are gonna end up being gone earlier than they were expecting. So um, I don't really have the catalog in front of me uh to like show them. I do have one of the items I do have like right here because I pulled it out. So these products I guess were going to end up in on the last chance list in August. But with these items, like at least two of them I know are fairly like new, um, they've sold out of it. So they are saying that they may not even make it to the last chance list, and they wanted to make us aware about it. So which is this one? So one of the items is covered in flowers accent. Item number 167197. Those are, I believe, they're in the catalog. Were they in the catalog? They may be in the catalog. And that's right, because we got the new catalog coming out. So, but yeah, so those weren't going to be on the last chance. Maybe not yet. But they're the die cut. There's like die cut flowers. They're very, very similar to these. These are the floral flight accents. So it's like one sheet, and it's like a thicker type of cardstock, and it's kind of like detailed die cuts of like flowers and butterflies. If you could, whoops, and that big flower is looking to come out. So that's what this. So this is the floral flight the floral flight accents. And so these I think are actually on low inventory. They were last night, so these I guess evidently were gonna end up on there. I mean, it's in the catalog. um so these, the covered in flower accents, which is kind of similar in a way to this, but it's white. um the everyday borders accent, so that was an online exclusive. So those were like those laser cut strips. I think you had gotten like two of each design of them, and I don't know if it was just one sheet or two sheets that were in the package. um those are actually gone, because when I tried to bring up the number, nothing came up. And also, uh I know that I have it in here somewhere. Yeah, actually, I do. These were fairly new as well. I think these were online exclusive, I think. Gilded wings accent. So it was the foil butterflies. So the whole sheet. Yeah, so one came in the package. I did purchase two of them. Haven't used them yet, but these are actually gone as well. So let me take a really quick peek on these, because like I said, these were on low inventory last night. No. So these are gone too. So the floral flight accents, the gilded wings accents. Actually, I think all these items are now gone, because I think it was just these floral flight ones that were on low inventory, but everything else when I went to look it up was gone. So again, covered in flowers accents. I'm pretty sure that that was in this current catalog that we have. Everyday borders accents, floral flight accents, and gilded wings accents. Um, yeah, they're saying that the demand for these products had exceeded their ability to maintain inventory, while they were also preparing the products for the September through December catalog release. So yeah, so it may be a little bit different in different markets, but here in North America, I can tell you now, all four of those items are now they're now gone. So yeah, there is. So that is that on that, and of course I haven't used any of these, not yet, and of course I can't get things in there. So things will be pulled out. Like I said, when I do my lives, I'm not just going to use current product. I'm also going to pull in some of the retired stuff. And the reason why is because I'm taking a pause on the Throwback Thursdays. The monthly Christmas card inspiration, I'm taking a pause on that as well. Um, until like the whole work situation gets figured out. I mean, again, I've made mention in the past my feelings, my thoughts, and everything that's kind of going on, and so yeah, I things need to kind of like level out before I can do that stuff, because it's just I don't have enough time in the day, nor do I have enough energy to just do all of the stuff like I was doing before. So the other thing too that I like I mentioned, when I do my videos, yes, I'm still a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Yes, I I'm going to continue to be one. I mean, things can change down the road, but right now that's what it is. There's no thought about quitting or anything like that. But what because I have so much stuff in here, most of it, yes, is Stampin' Up. But I also have other stuff that's not Stampin' Up that I would like to use also. So I may end up bringing some of that stuff in when I do my videos. Like for example, um, I'm starting to do a collection, you know, get the whole collection of the Copic sketch markers. And so, even though we have alcohol markers, I'm using these on some of the products. So, we're going to be using these on two of the cards for today. So, yeah, so I'm changing things up a little bit. Um, but yeah, uh, I let me see. I seem to be missing. Yeah. I seem to be missing the all of my you know, my things that the housekeeping stuff. Yeah, I don't know where those all those papers went. So I'm just gonna kind of like wing it. So I got nothing to show. Uh, like I said, the hot foil system that is now out, not only for demonstrators but for customers as well. Stampin' Up did make mention in one of our weekly updates for demonstrators that that where is it? Is it this one? Um, what are you looking for?
Your stuff.
My papers, I have no clue, and I at this point I'm not gonna go digging for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
Let's wing
Okay.
it. It's gonna be wing and not wing it Wednesday. We know that we should do. Yeah, if I had time to do a video, I can call it Wing It Wednesday. We're just gonna be a Wing It Saturday. So
Okay.
but yeah, so what they were saying about uh the hot foil, okay, the hot foil system. Um so when they had the pre-order for this, and I think it was at the beginning of July, I think. No, it was sooner than that. I think it was in June. Um, Demonstrators were able to pre-order that hot foil system and the plates that they and bundles and things that they had available along with the foil. And it was a hush hush thing. We weren't to say anything about it because Stampin' Up did not know when exactly they were going to open it up for everybody to be able to order this. So it was actually sooner than I expected it was going to be. So that's why I didn't order mine, early on when it first came out. I kind of waited until like the first week of July. So they're saying that when demonstrators ordered this, there was like a pretty high demand for it. And so, they're anticipating that when it opened up to customers as well, that the demand may be the same. So they kind of gave us like this heads up because remember when demonstrators have their pre-order, there's quantity limits, usually like to one that we can order. But then once it goes live, then it's like hey, if you wanted to order three of those things, you can order three of those things. But but they were saying that um, what are they saying? So they're saying if the customer demand mirrors the excitement that they saw with the demonstrators, there's a possibility that this hot foil system and the coordinating hot foil products could sell out quickly. It says, as with any Stampin' Up release, affected items will be marked as unavailable in the online store and then Restock updates would be shared through well, for us, we have an inventory status report. Um, the other thing it says, okay, so they say that they had already ordered additional Stampin' Hot foil systems and other supporting products from the Stampin' Hot foil line. The Stampin' Hot foil system has substantially longer manufacturing and shipping lead times than some of the other hot foil products, and they anticipate if and when it goes out of stock, it may not be back in stock until later in the year. So that's why I did go and order it earlier. I was kind of waiting for my Stampin' Rewards to apply to my account so I can use it towards that. And they say that, the timing will vary by market. And then it says the remaining products in the line are expected to be replenished on a more typical um, reorder timeline. So if you've been kind of like on the fence, is this something that you want? We're going to play with this either next Friday night or next Saturday morning or night. Stay tuned on that. I'm just waiting for a couple more items with that. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, so if you're been kind of like on the fence, do you want it? Do you not want it? I've seen videos. It looks really cool. Adds that shine, and it's a different type of shine than when using heat embossing with the powder. Um, the so if you're interested in it, think about it, because again, it's an investment. Um, this machine is actually made for Stampin' Up by Spellbinders. Uh, it's a newer version of what Spellbinders currently has. From what we understand, that there's going to be a new Spellbinders one, and it's going to basically look just like this one, except again, it's not going to have the Stampin' Up branding on it. Um, the one thing with this though, there is, I think, a 1 year warranty, I think, on it. I think it's 1 year. I'm not 100% sure, but Stampin' Up does say that what'll void the warranty is if you end up using products with it that's not Stampin' Up, because all their testing and everything that they did was based on their product. Um, the one thing also I will make mention, because I think a lot of people who have purchased this um, didn't realize that this particular foil system will only work in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's not going to work in, if you have a big shot, it's not going to work with that, because the plate, or the space that's the width that's on the big shot, it's not wide enough. This is a little bit wider. So I just want to put that out there. If it's something that you've been thinking about, that you need the right machine to use with this, because if you have something else, it may not fit through it. So we're going to go more into that. Like I said, my plan is the next live I do is going to be making projects with that. So there's that. Also, one of the things that I want to make mention is that we're going to have a new catalog coming out. So the September through December catalog, which is going to kind of like be a holiday like a holiday catalog. Okay, it's still going to have all the core supplies and things that it's going to basically be like the May through August catalog. But it's going to be September through December. There's going to be fall stuff in there. There's going to be Christmas stuff in there. And guess what? Demonstrators were able to see digitally what's in this catalog. It's it's my downfall. So I gotta be choosy on what I choose. But there's a good possibility there's an idea in there that I would really love to do an in-person event for. So there is that. One other thing too that's starting here. Now there are some states that this applies to. Not every state has this. There is a tax-free. What is it? Oh, it's back to school sales tax holiday. So this does not apply to every state, and every state doesn't do it at the same exact time. Um, Let me bring this up really quick. It's easier to look at this. So basically, if you were to place an order, where you got like your stamps and your punches or dies or whatever, but then things like markers, the watercolor pencils, the scissors, adhesives, what else is there? Um, yeah. So basically, that kind of stuff, that those things are tax free. Everything else would be taxed, but these particular items are tax free. So let me bring this up. Let me zoom into this a little bit. So Alabama, theirs started yesterday and it's gonna go through tomorrow. So theirs is July 17th through the 19th. Arkansas is going to be August 1st to the 2nd. And then kind of scroll down a little bit. Tennessee is going to be July 31st through August 2nd. Again, this does not apply to not every state does this. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Illinois, Massachusetts, Missouri, New Mexico, Ohio, Puerto Rico, South Carolina, which Sharon, that's August 7th through the 9th, and then Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia. And again, it kind of applies to like adhesives and the stamp and write markers, dimensionals, um, things like that is what's. I got to figure out how to get this info out there where people can see it. Newsletter for July, I don't even know at this point if it's worth even doing it. I keep forgetting that I needed to do it, and I did, I started it and didn't get it done. But otherwise, I don't think I can really fit this information in the description of the video. Um, And speaking which, the description of the video, I just want to let you know that I meant to add in the list of the colors of the Copic markers I'm using. So I will add that back in after I'm done with the live. So with that, oh, and one other thing, like I mentioned, the new August through, no, not no, September through December catalog. That will be going live at some point in September. I want to say early September. Um, I've seen it. There's great stuff in it. If you are not working with another demonstrator, if you are here in the US and you would like a paper copy of that catalog, my email is either it's pinned at the top because I got it fixed, guys. I remembered to go out there, get everything fixed. So we do have our wheel of names and all that for our card drawing at the end. So that's all working. But my email address is pinned up in that top comment. And so if you would like one, just reach out to me. If you are ordering from another demonstrator, I would suggest, ask them for one. They may automatically send one to you, because a lot of them send it to their customers who have ordered from them, within a certain time frame. Otherwise, you can request one from them, because again, you order for them from them and not me. And just recently, I think the 12th of this month, postage went up yet again. So when you're sending out a catalog, it's going to cost just a little bit more than sending a card. So yeah, if you would like a catalog, just reach out to me and let me know. Also, there's going to be some items too for September, online exclusives. Now, there's not a whole lot in there, but yeah, that's going to be coming out as well. And like I said, August I think is when they're going to refresh the last chance list, so there's going to be more things added to that as well. So with that, I think that's pretty much everything that I think I had in my printouts that I can't find. Uh, so yeah, there's that. So let's go ahead, let's flip this and let's get into the projects. They're fairly easy, quickish. I mean, I've made them, I got everything prepped, so they're not going to be too bad. But there's also going to be some coloring involved in two of them. So we know coloring takes just a little bit of time. So let me go ahead, let me flip this and we'll get started. Flip, 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 flip. And we'll bring this down a little bit. Hopefully we're not too close and thing wants to focus in and out. Let me just make sure everything is kind of level here. And like I mentioned, pinned up at the top of the comment box, there is a link to a Google spreadsheet if you would like to be included in the card drawing at the end of my live. Now, you do have to be present when I do the drawing. Um, just click on that link, add your name to the spreadsheet, and then at the end, I will add it um, to my wheel of names and we'll do a drawing and then you choose one of the cards I made. So again, we're using a wonderful match suite. Again, right now the stamp set is now sold out. It is gone. The dies to it, these are still available. A Wonderful Match Designer Series paper is still available, and then Wonderful Stars puffy stickers. So two different size stars in both white and black, those are all still available. So it's just the stamp set right now that is gone. But like I said, I already had this started, and I think tomorrow is the final like World Cup match. So we're gonna get this in. Plus a little thing about me. When I was younger, I I played soccer. I was actually playing in a league where it was mixed, boys and girls. Then in high school, I was playing soccer then. So one of the cards I did, I kind of did it like an ode to my back in the days when I played soccer. So let me get the paper out of the way because I got all the stuff I need from that. Let me pull out the items from my first card. First card, but it was actually the last card that I put together last night. So utilizing the designer series paper, so there are two sheets in there that have these panels. So it's either like a printed type of paper, or you have like these images like this where you can color in. So we're going to color this in. For my card base, I have Blueberry Bushels. Terry's going to be all over this one. Blueberry Bushel, 8.5 by 5. Yeah, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of, and I need to hold on. I need to bring up my little cheat sheet here that's got all my measurements on it. Um, with last week's live, I made mention that I'm kind of taking a break too. I don't know if I'm going to bring it back or not on doing the free PDFs for the projects I do on my lives. They are a lot of work. Right now, there's PDFs that go all the way up through the end of May. So there, I still do have the link in the description, just right above the list of supplies, and there's well over 100 out there. So if there's any old um sets or whatever that you may have, go check it out. Everything's saved based on the name of the suite or bundle or stamp set, whatever it is. Okay, so Azure Afternoon, this measures 5 and 1/16 by 4 and 1/8, and the reason why it's an oddball size, basically when you cut this out, whatever the size of this is, you want to do like 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So kind of, line it up. So this is pretty close. So this is going, after we color it, we're going to place that on that Azure Afternoon. I have a piece of basic white that measures 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to go on the inside. Did I cut that right? Yeah, I cut that right. That's going to go on the inside. And then I have another piece of basic white that measures 4 and 1/8 by 3/4. So we're going to stamp our greeting on that. All right, so card base, fold and burnish. And I may have to move this up just a tiny bit because I see it starting to do its focusing in and out. All right, my adhesive, and we're going to place this inside of our card. Yeah, I will tell you that after I had done that live last Saturday? Whew, for most of the day I was walking around, I didn't have shoes on. But I'll tell you what, after standing for like 3 hours, my feet were absolutely killing me when I was done. All right, so I'm just going to bring in some scrap paper because we're going to be doing some coloring. And I know with these, they're going to bleed through. And so again, like I mentioned, instead of using Stampin' Blends, I am going to be using Copic markers. I made mention of this the last time that Yvonne had gifted me some, and I've always wanted to, learn how to use these. So I'm going to be slowly building my collection, and so if I'm going to have it, I need to be using it, not just have it in a thing and then just look at it and see, ooh, look at all the pretty colors. So the colors, now all of these, I am going to list them in the description. Now again, yes, it's not Stampin' Up, but there's also not going to be any links that are going to be tied to any of the non-Stampin' Up product that I use. So, lots of blues. So I used the blues that were kind of close between Blueberry Bushel and Azure Afternoon. So I have B00 Frost Blue, B01 Mint Blue, B04 Tahitian Blue, B05 Process Blue, and then B06 Peacock Blue. And then I have, where's my grays? A C5, C1, and I think there was another, well, I thought there was another one. I guess there's only two grays. No, there were 3 grays. But I think we're going to be sticking with those because I don't see, yeah, I don't see the other one. All right. So, B00. Okay, hold on. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? B05. Yes. Oh, what, you looking for more grays? Maybe I just didn't. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's only two. I don't know. Remember, I'm working on very little sleep here, so this ought to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, because
Maybe there's only two.
maybe.
I mean, you'd have to look on the chart in that I have in the drawer.
Yeah. I don't even see any more grades in here.
Yeah, there weren't too many.
But so the one that you're missing, there were 3 grades though, at least.
Well, if it's not in the rack, then it's got to be over there, but I didn't see any over there. So one of the things I want to do, I actually want to like learn how to use these too, because I will say, some people that color with these things, I mean, they do such an amazing job. I want a color like that. All right, so we're going to do that. And then we'll pull out this.
C1, 3C, and C5.
That's the only two?
3, C1, C3, and C5. So I don't, which one's?
So 3 is what's missing, because I got 1 and 5. Oh, never mind. I got it.
Okay.
It was hiding behind, in between all of the cards and stuff that I got
Found it.
in here. Okay. So, just like as an FYI, if anybody is, interested in getting these, now I don't know if you will find these cheaper anywhere else. The typical list price for these are like $7.99 a pen. But on the Blick website, these I believe are $5.39 a piece, and the reinkers are fairly priced. I haven't seen these things cheaper anywhere else. Okay, so I just used that one. I used that one, and I think we're going to use this one. So I'll put that out there. The one thing I've learned with these, that some of these are inkier than others. And like one of the cards I did brush out some of the ink that was in it, because it was extremely inky. We're going to see how it's going to behave when I get to, actually it's the next card. Okay. Whoa! You see that? How wet that is? Oh my gosh, it was like all of a sudden. Look at that. It's literally puddled up. That's not good. That is not good at all. Let me set that up over there. That one, I think, was one of them that I needed to re-ink. It's like all of a sudden, that didn't do that last night. Okay, so then for the shoes, we're going to go with the darker. Wow, I hope none of these other ones do that. Yeah, there's one thing I know with these. It's like you got to do a very gentle touch with these. I never seen a marker do that. Wow. That's pretty bad. Oh, no, I didn't want to. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. It's okay. I will fix it. I will fix it. So yeah, I gotta do a very light touch. Okay. Now we'll come in with this one. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now let's take care of like these grays and all that in, I said it was 3 of them. Yeah. All right, let's take our darker gray and we'll come into these spots where you got like these darker shadows in here. Now I do have a black one, but using the black, forget it. You're not going to see any of these details whatsoever. All right. And then this one. I'm sure there's probably some of you on here like, you know, Terry and Yvonne, who are like pros using these things. Like I said, I want to learn how to use these things. Right, and then we got our lighter one. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit on these little hash lines that you see, like for the shadows on the ball. We'll do that, and then even on the shirt. That's really, really light. Of course, I can't. Why is my thing on top chat? We want live chat. Live chat. And okay. I want to be able to. I want. See, it keeps going back to top. Stop going to top. I want live. Kelly Taylor. All right. Okay, I think that's good. It looks a little sketchy. All right, so we're done with these. And this one, I think I may have to use a paper towel and let it absorb some of that ink, because there may be too much ink. I may have put too much of the refill in that, so I'm going to put that aside so it doesn't get all over the place. Okay, so just a really quick coloring of this panel. Move this out of the way. And I think I need to put my hair up because it's getting a little warm in here. And I'm going to turn my fan on too. Kind of defeats the purpose when you take a shower and then you get all sweaty and it. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside for a little bit, let this dry. And then on this piece here, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay. Put that there. And then the stamp set. We're going to bring in Match Day. Now, none of the cards have like any greetings inside of them. I mean, I don't know. I have to think a bit about what I have to know what I could possibly stamp inside. And when you're running out of time, you know. So I'm going to stamp my greeting in blueberry Bushel ink. All right. And then I'm going to stamp this right in the middle, like so. Okay, put that over there. Close this up. And let's clean our stamp really quick. Right. We'll put that aside. And now let's put our card together. So I'm going to adhere this panel to my Azure Afternoon. I'm coming close to being at the end of that, so I'm going to have to pull out another refill. And again, there's just going to be a small little border around that, like so. Okay, and then we'll take this, we'll put it on our card base. Now it's going to be close to the left and right edges, and there'll be a little more space on the top and bottom. Okay. All right. So, what you looking for, woman?
Another thing you see on
Oh no, I got it right behind me in one of these
okay.
one of these cabinet drawers.
Okay.
But thank you. Okay, and then we're going to take this and we're going to place this up like this, like so. Okay, and then we're going to stick with the embellishments that come with this suite. Our wonderful Wonderful Stars puffy stickers. I did have to cut this down in order to get this to fit. So again, there's large black and white stars, and then there's also some small white and black. So there are a lot more of these little white ones. And I'm sure you can probably use alcohol markers to color these. I thought about it, but then I changed my mind. Okay, so I'm going to take two of these larger white ones. And I'm going to add them there. And then I'm going to take one of these smaller white ones. And I'm going to place that right between, and it just fits, right between match and day. Okay, there we go. There's the first card. So if you like the blue, there you go. We got some blue. Now the thing is with this designer series paper, there's a lot of green in it. So I wanted to change up at least one of the cards to break up, you know, all that green. So, all right, our next card. So this card, we're going to color on this one too. So we're getting the two, like, you know, longer type cards done first. So this one, I decided to go with a little bit of an ode of from back in the day when I had played soccer. So this would be around time when while I was in school. Our school colors were blue and gold. So we're going to kind of go with that theme on this one. So my card base is basic white thick. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And let me bring up my little like cheat sheet here. And then I have a piece of that, a Wonderful Match Designer Series paper. This measures 5.5 by 4.25. It's going to go right on the total front of our card base. There are two sheets in the Designer Series paper where you can cut out the field. So they've got some that are a solid garden green color. There's some that, two of them that have granny apple green as the grass. You got ones that have the garden green, or I think garden green and shaded spruce stripes on it. And so there's a couple of different field type images. So I went with just the plain garden green. And then add a garden green, a scrap piece of garden green cardstock. There is a die that has these two little like grass little pieces. So it doesn't fully cut it out, so we're going to trim those out. And then there's a cone die in there, so I die cut two of those out of pumpkin pie. And then out of a scrap piece of basic white, there is the net, so I cut that. And then ahead of time, I have the shirt, the ball, and then two of the flags, basic white and stamped with the Memento Tuxedo black ink. I know that we have that hybrid ink, but I really, honestly, I really never cared for the hybrid ink, so I'm just going to stick with my Memento. It works very, very well, so we'll leave it at that. And then I have another piece of basic white. This is going to be for our greeting. This is 2 1/8 by 3/4. All right, so let me fold and burnish my card base. And let me bring my video up. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to put it on the card base itself. So I'm going to go around the edges. Now I personally would not use my Stampin' Seal to do this part because that stuff sticks very well, and you know you won't get it lined up that first time, and then Yeah, your paper is going to become all wrinkled because you tried to line it all up and you got frustrated and, you know, all the things. So I'm going to bring that down. I know there's going to be a little excess to trim off. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to bring in my little guillotine paper trimmer. I think this is the easiest way to get that little bit of excess off of there. Okay. All right. Again, we'll varnish that. Okay, then I'm going to take my field piece here. All right. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this kind of like at an angle right here. And we're going to layer over on top of this. Okay, and then we're going to do our little glue thing here. Let me get my silicone craft sheet. And this is just basically one of those silicone pastry brushes, and I just cut down the bristles on it. So I'm going to add some glue right there. Take our piece, turn it upside down. I got like glue goobers all over this thing. And we'll get to pick up our glue. And we'll tap, tap, tap. Oh, I have this. Speaking of which, I gotta show you guys this amazing card that Yvonne had made me. Pick that up. Move that out of the way. Bring in our card. And I'm going to layer this about, I would say about here. We'll press that down. Okay. Don't have glue all over my fingers. No glue oozing out. Let's take a little sip of some coffee. Coffee is so, so good. Yum, yum. And you know, come August, guess what's going to happen? They're already going to start bringing out pumpkin spice. And when they do, I'm going to be buying it because it's my fave. That and the peppermint mocha for the holidays. It's those little things. All right, so my grass, like I said, there's one die that die cuts these, but it doesn't completely die cut them out. So let me bring in my snips. Now, paper snips is what we've had for the longest amount of time. The manufacturer that was making them for Stampin' Up, I don't know if they went out of business or what, but they weren't making them anymore. We didn't have them for a while, and then when I believe it was the July online exclusives came out, they're now called detailed scissors, so those are available, and they do have them in the new catalog. It's not in our current one. If you remember, Stampin' Up is changing up the way they're doing catalogs now. Instead of doing like an annual catalog and then 2 mini catalogs, they're going to just do 3. what would be like their main catalogs, and that those catalogs are going to have, you know, kind of like your core products, you know, like your cardstock and envelopes and inks and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be things that do carry from month to month. Um, but yeah, the and like I said, the new catalog, I've seen it, and there's a lot of neat things. And this is where I really wish that Terry, well, you know, really, I wish all of you lived closer, because I think we would have like, we would have a hoot of a time if we were all together, you know, crafting in the same room. I think that would be cool. All right, so my grassy pieces, I'm going to pop these up on either side of my my net. So I'm going to get my little dimensionals, and I'm going to add one to the back of each. Yes, we would have an amazing time. Like I said, when I looked in the catalog, actually, it's an image that's on the front cover of it. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that project. That would be fun to do as like a get together. And then, of course, we have, well, we got a little bit of ways to go. We have World Card Making Day that happens like that first Saturday of October. So I don't know exactly what they have planned, but I definitely would like to not only do something in person, but also, yeah, all that crazy in one spot would be perfect. It would be perfect. Oh, coffee, you're so good. Okay, so we got that there. Then I'm going to take, ooh, what do I want to do next? Well, the rest of the stuff, I think I'm going to wait to put the stuff on until I get those other pieces colored, and then that way we can lay everything out. I find that using my take your pick tool on those smaller dimensionals is a little bit easier, you know, with these big fingers. Okay, so we got dimensionals on our cones. So now we're going to do some coloring. So now let's see if this marker has, because when I went to color with it, it was like, wow, there was a lot of ink in it, and it wasn't one that I refilled. So we're going to see how it behaves. So for this one, we're going with blue and gold. That was my school colors. We were known as the Eastport Ducks. So Eastport is a little town on the east end of Long Island, and we were known for having duck farms. So yeah, that's how we were the Ducks. Now the school kind of merged with another one, and they go by Sharks. And it's not blue and gold, it's blue and gray. So yeah, I don't know about that, but when I went, it was blue and gold. So I have with the Copics for my blues, I got B69 stratospheric blue and B29 ultramarine. For my golds, I got Y18 lightning yellow and Y19 Napoli yellow, and then I got a brown, E37 sepia. All right, so let me bring in that paper again, and we're gonna see. It was the darker of the two. Let's see how. Definitely got to take like a light hand with that color. That's really dark. Okay, so again, I had already stamped in the Memento black ink on basic white. uh, 2 flags. I have my soccer ball. Actually, the soccer ball, we're not doing any coloring on that. And then we have the jersey. So on, let's see, on one of these flags, we're going to color one of them in with the lighter blue, which is the B29. And I've noticed with these two that there's some of these that have like a strong alcohol odor to them, and then there's some that don't really have so much. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to do the stripes on the jersey. Just kind of like, we actually had like 3 stripes on the arms. We actually had shirts that were long sleeve. I'm trying to think, why would we have had long sleeve? I mean, I know it's cooler up north, but you know, you have hot days in you know, Long Island too. I mean, yesterday after I got done working about 5:30, Yvonne and myself, we had gone out. We ventured out. We went to Hobby Lobby. It's always a joyous time to go into Hobby Lobby. It's like as soon as you walk in the door, you just take a deep sniff, and it's like, oh man, it smells good. They have like in full force have all of the fall stuff out, and things were 40% off. And they were also putting out Christmas stuff as well. You know, they're just starting with that. And so we went there. Actually, it didn't feel too bad. I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't too bad. And then where did we go after that? Oh, well, we went to the post office because I did order some more of these markers. So one package was delivered, and the other one is actually being delivered today. Now the question is going to be, when I go to the post office later on, am I going to get it? Because for some reason, when packages come in, it takes the post office a couple of days to actually get it to my box. So yeah, there was one order. So the one order that I had placed was being shipped by them, and so I don't know what happened, but for some reason my full address did not end up on the label. It was missing the apartment number. So yeah, the day that they were out delivering it, yeah, they just went flat out said that insufficient address, we're sending it back. And then I tried to call them. Yeah, at least 5 times I tried calling them and no one would answer the phone. So I will say this, that Blick's customer service, I will rank them up there. Like I would rank the Stampin' Up customer service. They're amazing. And I will say this, if there is like any art type supplies, like for example, I do have like the full set of the Prismacolors. They do have sets on there. They have the individual pencils, um, ink tents, uh, watercolor pencils. They have those, and individual ones. So there's a lot of interesting stuff on there, and it is discounted. So if there's like any type of like art supply, check them out. And they do have stores as well. And the closest one to us, I think, is it did they buy out, or did they, well, maybe they bought out or merged or whatever, these art stores called Plaza, and that's what they had in Nashville. And so we decided that we're going to do a little road trip to Nashville, and then while we're at it, we're going to go a little bit further to Seaverville, and that's where there's this really big scrapbook store. We no longer have any scrapbook stores here in Memphis. So, yeah, when it's cooler in the fall, and of course, out that way, when it's fall, things change color a lot sooner than they do down here. And we're just going to really take in the day and then just have a relaxing day, make a trip out there. I don't know if we'll, you know, spend the night out there, but because it is a little bit of a trip. Like from here, Nashville's about 3.5 hours. And there's always going to be a load of trucks. So yeah, there's, for the most part, there's only 2 lanes for traffic. So it takes a little bit, but when you're not doing it by yourself, that drive is like nothing. Okay, so I'm using the lighter of the 2 yellows to fill in the shirt. Oh, that's right, Sharon. We have that little connection, don't we? We got, yep, Eastport South Manor, yep. And they go by the Sharks. And so it's no longer blue and gold, it is blue and gray. As a matter of fact, my daughter, when she graduated from high school there, and the year that she graduated, they were the first class to graduate out of the new school. And so, of course, when I went to the graduation ceremony, yeah, it's not the same. You know, because the school that I went to right there in town, I mean, yeah, it's an old building, but yeah, it's not the same. And to refer as sharks, I don't know where that came from. I mean, yeah, you got the ocean there, but sharks? Come on. All right, so got that colored in. Now let's bring in our darker. Again, in the artwork of the stamp, they got like little shadow areas. I'm just going over those. And then I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I do this jersey. Let me get my sepia. You know, I literally had cleaned these all up, and there's still ink all over them. And yes, these are stored like this. I know that with double-ended markers that you got to lay them flat this way. That I don't understand why I see a lot of people when they post pictures, they actually have them stored like this. I don't know why. Okay, now the darker. Just like I did on the other one, I'm just going to scribble right over these little hash lines. Okay. I'm going to come in. Kind of fill this in a little bit better. Okay, so that's all the coloring that we're doing for our project. So we got that out of the way. So let me set these aside, let these dry a little bit before I add some dimensionals to them. And I'll bring this back in. We're going to stamp our greeting. So for this one, I'm going to use Let's Go. So in this set, you have Match Day, Your Biggest Fan, Goal, Let's Go, and Thanks for Everything. Oh, and there's a number 1 in there. And again, the stamp set, everything in this suite is available except for the stamp set. I can tell you that the night before last, when I went out there and looked, it was still there because I was looking for ideas. And then last night when I had one more card left to, create, and I looked and it's like, okay, why is it when I do a search, all I'm getting is the French one. Yep, it's gone. All right, so I'm going to stamp this greeting in my Memento black ink. Again, this is the uninked white, well, for the white craft ink. So the pad itself is uninked. And so I took my Memento Tuxedo Black Ray Inker and I inked that up. And it stamps, that nice dark black, just like as if you had used the black StazOn. The difference is that when you go to clean the stamp, the ink is actually going to come off of it and not stain it like StazOn would. So Stampin' Up! Has kind of did away now with the tuxedo, the Memento ink and the StazOn. They do have the hybrid ink. Like I said, that stains too, so, but I don't know. I didn't really care much for it, so I'm just going to stick with what works. 2005, oh wow. When did she graduate? Ooh. This is bad when I can't even remember. She's going to be 40 this year. How do I have a 40-year-old? Oh, I figure like 20 years ago. So yeah, I think he probably started there just after she graduated from there, because when did she graduate? Dang. You think I would know this stuff like at the top of my head, but like they say, math is hard. Especially when you're recording. Um, um, no, that was me when I graduated. Oh, okay. You know what? She graduated in 2004, so a year earlier. See, isn't it? It's just a small world, isn't it? It's like, you know, Eastport's just like this little old town. You know, there's a lot of other towns that are much bigger on Long Island than little old Eastport. And here it's like, what are the chances? You know, I do these lives and then there's someone that knows exactly where it is, and there's like this whole connection. I think that's awesome. All right, so I'm adding some dimensionals to the back of my jersey. On these flags, I'm going to add one just to the part of the flag, because clearly we're not putting any on those sticks to them. And then our soccer ball is going to have some. And we're going to get our scissors, and we're going to use some of these edge pieces. I think the neighbors upstairs must have went away for the weekend or something, because actually last night it was peaceful and quiet. And I haven't heard them this morning, so yeah, I like the peace and quiet. But you said that he didn't start teaching there until 2005. What? So Sharon, what is his name? I can always ask her, you know, hey, do you remember a teacher by that name? Okay, so I'm going to place that there. Then, let's see. Got our soccer ball. And we got our little flags. So these are going to sit like this. And our soccer ball is going to go like that. All right, so we're going to take our ball. We're just going to kind of place it here just so I know where to place these. Okay, that's good. Right there, that works. And then we'll take our soccer ball, place that right there. Oh, you know what? One of these did not need these. One of these just needs to be glued down. There's like this little cut that's in the base of it. So you gotta be careful removing these so you don't tear. I will ask her. The name doesn't look familiar, but I'll ask her. Actually, what I should do, hold on, I need to get my pen anyway. Hold on. I'm going to need it when we go to do our drawing. I can't talk. And you said, okay. Okay. I'll ask her. It'll be it. Like I said, if I'm calculating it right, she graduated in 2004. And if you said that he started in 2005, there's a possibility she may not. But I don't know, for some reason, um, I think I remember either seeing a picture or something being mentioned about, because you don't forget, you know, teachers that kind of stand out. And if they're really tall, yeah, you can't miss them. And then, of course, there's those teachers that, you just really like those teachers. All right, so we're going to take one of our cones and we're going to glue that down right there. And we'll take the other one and pop it up. Put that right there. Like so. Let me make something down really quick. Hold on. Okay. Okay. All right. So what's left? Okay. So our greeting, we're going to pop that up. And that's going to go right in between here. So we're going to place our dimensionals. Like in here. I think that'll work. Yes, that'll work. And then this will go right here. Make sure that's straight. It's a little off. Okay. And now one more touch to this. We're going to bring in those stars again. And we're going to use our little white ones. And we'll add one up there. One over here. And then we're going to put one more right here in the net. Okay. Get those out of the way. All right. There is our second card. So a little ode to my days of back when I played soccer. And again, our school was all about blue and gold. All right. Last card. And let's see. And for this one, I'm actually bringing in another new stamp set just for one stamp to add a little bit of like a decorative element to it. So my card base is garden green. It measures 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. I have a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white for the inside. Then I have 2 pieces of that designer series paper. These measure, each one of these, it's 4 by 3. Okay. So see, that's another one of the patterns of the fields. You got the garden green and the shaded spruce. And then there's that one with the garden green and the soccer balls. Then I have another piece of basic white. This is for our greeting. I think these are all almost the same size. So this is 2 by 3/4. And then out of a scrap piece of garden green, this is from the Stylish Shape Circles. And then I die cut the next one a little bit smaller than that in what do you call it, Granny Apple Green. Then there is a detailed die that does like the black spots and the lines that are on the soccer ball. I had used a retired punch, wanted to find something that was close to the size of this. So I used my 1.5 inch circle punch. Again, this isn't available anymore. And I punched out a basic white circle. So I'm going to adhere the black part onto that, and then I'm going to trim around that. And then there is a trophy die in there, so I die cut that out of gold foil. All right, so let's get this party started. All right, I'm gonna fold and burnish, and then let's see if I'll have enough adhesive to get me through. I do have more, but that one's working. So, because sometimes it's a little hit and miss on the refill. Sometimes things work great, and then other times the I guess the cellophane or whatever that the adhesive is on wants to act all weird. Okay, so then I'm going to take my two designer series paper pieces, add adhesive to the back of both of them. Oh, I hit the end. All right, you need to like let go. Let go. Yeah, so the seal and, oh, that's an empty bag. That ain't gonna help me. The refill. Well, don't put in adhesive. So like the seal and seal plus, the one that has the actual casing for it, and the refills are also part of that tax-free set. That tax-free weekend. All right, so I know I got some glue goobers on here. You know, it'd be neat if Stampin' Up! Had a thing where, you know, you can return these things and get like a credit or something. Instead of just, you know, taking these things and throwing them away. Okay. Don't stick my finger in it. Okay. Okay, I'm putting my finger in it, and that's not what we want to do. And, okay, come on, stop doing that. Okay, I don't know why I'm sticking to everything here. But my finger, why do you want to still go in? It's like, stop touching the adhesive. All right. Let's see. I'm just rolling it on my silicone craft sheet over here just to advance. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, so then we're going to take our pattern that's got the black background, and I'm going to put this at an angle, and I'm basically matching that corner, both corners, to the top and that side edge. So like at an angle like so. And then our other piece, we're going to do the same. I'm going to place that right there. Okay, we'll set that aside. Let's bring in did I do with it? It's probably like right here, right in front of my face, and I'm not seeing it. Sip and Pure Smack. Alright, now for this one, I'm going to bring in my Garden Green ink. And I want the stamp that says goal on it. Get a block. Ink it up. And stamp it right there. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then so the other stamp set that I'm going to bring in is more like for a decorative element. So instead of just having this plain granny apple green layer on top of the garden green, we're going to add a little bit to this. So I'm bringing in the stamp set Framed Violet. So this is a fairly new suite that it's in the May through August catalog. And so this little stamp here that has some of this these little dots, I'm going to use that. This is a suite that, I mean, look at that big oval scallop. I mean, that's pretty big. It's a suite that, because I think because I took the break in June, I'm kind of behind on a lot of these, and so I need to start using these. I don't really have, because again, I didn't get my newsletter done. I don't really have anything, you know, specifically planned for what I'm doing for the next few Fridays, except my plan is for next weekend. Like I said, I did get the new hot foil system, and I'm waiting on a couple of more plates for it that I would like to use. And so I may, if I get it in time, because it's going through mail innovations, and you know how the post office can be. If I get it in time, then I'll go live Friday night. If not, then it could possibly be like maybe a Saturday morning, like this one, and then or Saturday night, one of the two. So I'm inking this up, stamping it off, and I'm just kind of filling in this circle. Look at this little part, like so. So add a little bit of texture to it by stamping that. All right, so we cleaned that all off. Let's close this up so we don't end up with ink everywhere. All right, we'll move that. Now, let's see. We're going to take this circle here, and we're going to adhere this. Okay, what are you doing? You're coming off the roller. And we're going to adhere this right in the middle of our circle, like so. We're going to bring in, we're going to bring this in. And, of course, I move some of this glue off of here. Okay, I'm going to take my liquid glue, add some up here. All right, I'm going to take my trophy. Now I want to hold this in place because I don't want it to shift to where I'm going to end up with any glue that from the silicone mat to get on the other side, because again, it's the gold foil. Okay, pick it up, flip it over, and we're going to add our trophy right there. Okay, and then we're going to take our soccer ball, flip that over, add some on here. And you can do the same thing using adhesive sheets. But of course, you know, I find this to be a bit easy. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to just center it on this piece like so. And then we're going to trim around the edge of that black on that. So let me get this out of the way because we're done with that. Okay, let's get some snips here. And let's, these little goobers from the silicone mat on there. Okay, let's cut this out. Now, I'm not so concerned. I know that I'm kind of going around the edge of it, and there's probably going to be some white edges that may show. But we're going to fix that because after we cut it, we're going to use the brush end of our black Stampin' Right marker, which is no longer available. And I'm just going to go around the edge of it just to kind of color over that, any of those white spots that are showing. And of course, you know, I love you guys that I'm doing this because I don't like fussy cutting at all. It's definitely not one of my faves. It's, you know, when I do my cards, it's like I'm so anal about, it's like, okay, if it's supposed to be straight, I want it straight. You know, and of course when it comes to, you know, like die cuts or anything like that, you know, you want it nicely cut. You don't want to see all these jagged edges, and it's kind of what happens when I fussy cut. So you can see that, if you can see, I don't know, there's a little bit of white that's showing around the edge. I'm not so concerned about that, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, make sure there's no glue goobers on there. I'm going to take the brush end, and on the side of that, I'm just going to go around, kind of like covering up that white. So you don't really see that, and then I missed some spots. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's take this piece here. We're going to pop this up. Got some scissors. Going to use up these edge pieces. Okay. All right. Let's bring that in. We're going to take this and we're going to place this right over here. And then our soccer ball. I'm going to pop that up. see, we're going to take this and we're going to place this right there. And then our goal, we're going to pop this up as well. So if you would like to be in the card drawing, go ahead and click on that link. I got it fixed now. So you can click on that link. You could add your name to the spreadsheet. And of course, if you got any problems at all, just please say something. And somebody will be more than happy to add your name to it. If you want to be in the drawing for one of tonight's cards. Not tonight, today, what time is it? It's probably afternoon now. Gotta remember, it's not nighttime. Okay, so so other than adding some more of these stars, where is my sheet of my little ones? And we're gonna add a black one as well on here, so take one of our white ones, put that there, and we'll add one here, and then one of our black ones we'll add right there. And then one other thing, so this item, this is, what is this? Garden green and white chevron ribbon. So this is like a thin 1/8 of an inch wide ribbon. So this was part, is it Hobby Haven, I want to say. Again, this is on the last chance list. I think the regular price of this here in the US was like $8, and I think now it's marked down to $7.80. It is still available. Okay, so I'm going to make myself a bow here, and I want it kind of like a larger loop type of bow. Okay, and then let me get a glue dot. It's 1:30. Is it your time or my time, Sharon? Because there is an hour. There's an hour difference between us. And I'm going to add this right here. And there we go. There's our third card. There we go. And inside, I think that one came out cute. And it's looking blurry. All right. So, all right. Don't forget to give the video a like. The subscriptions, the comments, all that stuff all helps out with getting the video out there for others to see. And let me tidy up while to make some room here, so then that way I can pull in my laptop here to do that whole wheel of names in the drawing. Okay, put that, let's just put that on there. Yeah, last week when I did my live, I pulled in a ribbon that was actually retired. I just gotten to the point now, I got like so much stuff, and a majority of all of it is retired stuff. So, you know, I'm taking a break with the Throwback Thursdays, because again, like I said, it was, you know, it's like I'm stretching myself thin here. We're trying to get so much done, and it's becoming harder and harder with the way work is. And until something changes, you know, I will admit it was kind of nice when I took that month off as a break. You know, I didn't have to stress on, you know, getting videos done, and it was good. All right. So I got that. I got my coffee. Still got to drink my coffee now that it's kind of gone cold. All right. So let's see. So Vaughn wants to be added. Let me bring it up. Oh, I gotta show you the completed cards. Okay, is that all we have? Is just Terry, Sharon, and Yvonne? Where is Terry? Is she still here? You still here, Terry? Right now, we only have 3 names on this list. Yeah, she is. Okay, so right now it's you got Terry, Sharon, and Yvonne. Is there anybody else at all? So the first card is got a lot of blue on this one. This is basically a printed panel out of the designer series paper, and all I did was color it in. Again, as far as the coloring goes, I used Copic markers. What I'll do after I'm done with my live, I will go back into the description and I'll just put a list of the colors that I used in the event, you know, if you have them and you want to use them to color as well. So there's our match day card. Then our second one's kind of like an ode to back in the day when I played soccer in high school, and our school colors were the blue and gold. And so, yeah, so I kind of tied that in with the predominant, you know, the green and black that's in the designer series paper for this suite. And then here's our final card with all of that green. So garden green and granny apple green, and then the die cuts of the soccer ball and the trophy. Again, on this suite, everything with it is still available except for the stamp set. The French version of it is still available. However, unless you're like making cards for someone that speaks French, then it's like, I don't know. I mean, if it was just about images, then that wouldn't be so bad. But again, the English version of the stamp set is now gone. It happened like, basically it happened like overnight. But everything else is still available. The designer series paper, these puffy stars, the set of dies, those are still available. Okay, so let me take these names here, and we're going to add you guys to the wheel of names. So each one of you is going to get a card. Oh, wait, we don't want that. Hold on. It ended up taking what I copied and pasted for the up at the top of the chat box, and control copy. It pulled that instead of the names. All right. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And again, the order of them, 1, 2, and 3. Move that up there. Let me unplug. Let me move the lighting out of the way so it doesn't glare on the screen. I'll bring this in. Let me just make sure that, what is this? Oh, this was the tax great thing. Again, Alabama, yours is the 17th through the so it's this weekend. And then Arkansas, you're August 1st to 2nd. Here in Tennessee, we're July 31st to the 2nd. And then South Carolina, August 7th through the 9th. All right, so I will close this out and we'll go back here. We got everybody. All right, let's spin this wheel. Terry. Let me go back to the screen so I can see which one you want. Number 1, okay. She's got her boyfriend. Okay, next one. This does have like a spinning sound and all that, but because it's muted. Yvonne. I don't know, Yvonne. It may cost me too much to send the card to you. Or as Tracy likes to say, airmail. Number 3, okay. All right, so then Sharon, you got the look, Sharon, this is perfect. Well, Long Island, school colors. There you go. All right. So that was a I guess painless live. The last week it was just, yeah, because of technical difficulties, I had to do the drawing for cards the old-fashioned way. So again, thank you so much for taking your time out this morning to join me. Again, my next live, I'm really planning to do it on Friday night. It's all dependent upon if I get the rest of the items that I ordered. We're going to focus on the hot foil system. So we're going to make some really fun cards with that. So to know what I'm going to be doing, if you just go to my YouTube channel, I will have the video thumbnail created for the live. Uh, just look at what the date and time is on that. Again, it could be Friday night, it could be Saturday morning, or it could be Saturday evening. We'll see. Well, to be decided, more or less. Again, if you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. All that helps. Also, we got a new catalog coming out. The September through December has a lot of holiday related stuff in there and the fall stuff. And so if you're here in the US, not working with another demonstrator, and you would like to have me send you a copy of it. My email is either pinned at the top of the chat box, or it's also in the description of the video. Please send me an email and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to send it out as soon as we're able to get it. And so with that, everyone, wherever you may be, if you're dealing with heat, please stay cool, because this heat is no joke. If you're dealing with storms, please be safe. And yeah, so thank you again, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.